British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
My name is Jonah Jung, and these are your news updates for 10:30 a.m. The Vatican has announced a new pope, Pope Leo XIV. Cardinal Robert Prevost from Chicago will succeed the late Pope Francis. A white smoke came out of the chimney of the Sistine Chapel. According to the Associated Press, the bell from St. Peter's Basilica has rung to signal the news. The new elect has to earn 2/3 of the vote to become the next pope. The top cardinal has read aloud the name of the new pope on the balcony, chanting, "We have a pope," in Latin. The Provincial Agricultural Ministry recommends ranchers and farmers to register the location of their livestock for wildfire season. If the farmers register with premises ID, the emergency responders can know the locations in case of an emergency. Our producer, Caroline Doyle, has more on the registration.
Thank you, Jonah. The ministry says farmers should mandatorily register, but it will be free and confidential. Kevin Boone, the general manager of BC's Cattlemen Association, says this registration will be useful for communication. The BC Wildfire Services says there have been more than 40 active wildfires, and there are 4 burning as today. It says more than 81% of the fires are human-caused. Coming up later in the day, we will take a deeper dive into security plans for an annual Port Coquitlam's May Day Festival coming up, and sharing more on an event that has a different take on Mother's Day celebrations. And with the new Pope chosen today, we will be hearing from Father Rothschilds of Our Lady of Sorrows Parish in Vancouver. Back to you, Jonah.
Thank you, Caroline. The Parentless Club, a Vancouver social organization founded by 2 women who lost their mothers too young, is reclaiming Mother's Day this weekend. Reporter Leah Warren has more on how this club is bringing joy to a day that some might find hard to navigate.
At the age of 18, Nikki Lewis lost her mother to cancer. She found it hard to find connection through her grief, as traditional support groups didn't work for her. Wanting to find community, she started the Parentless Club, a social club for and by those who have lost parents. Mother's Day, Lewis says, can feel like a minefield when your mom is no longer there to celebrate. She says that people can hide away from the world and avoid the overwhelming advertising that precedes the day. Motherless Day, an event being held by the Parentless Club, is a way to rewrite the script. With snacks, crafts, and lots of chats expected to occur, it's a way to commemorate the day with people who get it. Lewis wants the parentless community to know that mothers who are no longer with us still deserve to be celebrated, and there is no right or wrong way to do so. Leah Warren, BCIT News.
Next is the national news. Ontario mayors are asking the province to ban financial support that cities use to bring in more doctors. They say the recruitment method hurts smaller communities. Todd Kaisenberg, North Perth mayor, says he is against providing financial incentives despite the shortage of doctors. A health ministry spokesperson says the government is investing in creating more connections with doctors. He has refused to answer the question about whether to ban financial incentives or not. For international news, President Trump has announced that the US and Britain will have a first trade deal after global tariff threats. Trump says the UK has approved an agreement that will lower tariff rates on car exports from 27% to 10%. The tariff on steel and aluminum, along with custom duties, will be eliminated as well. Trump says this will benefit the US.
They'll also be fast-tracking American goods through their customs process, so our exports go to a very, very quick form of approval, and there won't be any red tape.
As the conflict between India and Pakistan continues, India has launched drone attacks to Pakistan. Pakistani authorities say the drones killed 2 civilians and wounded 4 soldiers. New Delhi has accused Pakistan of committing its own attacks, continuing the conflict between 2 nuclear powers in Asia. Pakistan says it shot down some of the drones that targeted its air defense system. New Delhi says it neutralized Islamabad's attempts. The claims have not yet been verified. For today's weather, it'll most likely be sunny in Burnaby, quite different from yesterday's cloudy weather. Average temperature in Burnaby will be 11.9 Celsius with 62% humidity. Residents should leave their jackets at home. These have been your news updates for 10:30. My name is Jonah Jung. for BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikki-King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikki-King. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
Welcome in to BCIT's The Crow. I'm Elijah Ford, and this is your 1040 Sports Update. The Abbotsford Canucks took a commanding 2-1 series lead in their best-of-5 second-round playoff series against the Coachella Valley Firebirds. The Canucks started out slow, getting outshot 8-0 in the first 17 minutes until forward Nate Smith scored on the Canucks' first shot on goal, which helped spark their big win. Stellar play throughout the night by goaltender Artis Seelovs kept the Firebirds at bay despite multiple pushes late in the game. Seelovs finished with 25 saves as the Canucks held on to the lead to win 3-1. Game 4 takes place Friday in Abbotsford. The Toronto Blue Jays fell 5-4 last night against the LA Angels to lose their 4th straight game. The Blue Jays held a 4-2 lead going into the 9th inning, but it wasn't enough as the Angels were able to load the bases with no outs. This set up Jorge Soler for a game-winning walk-off that rolled past left fielder Jonathan Clase for the comeback win. The Blue Jays play the Angels once again tonight. The first pitch is scheduled for 6:38. The Toronto Maple Leafs held on for a 4-3 win against the Florida Panthers in Game 2 of their second-round series. Toronto has a 2-0 edge in the best-of-7 showdown. Maple Leafs coach Craig Berube complimented the Panthers, saying it was a back-and-forth game.
You know, the way they play, they're quick and they do things quick, and they don't give you room, and if things don't get behind them, then they're going the other way. So, but it's works the other way too, which we've done a good job of that so far.
Game 3 in the best-of-7 series will be played on Friday night in Florida. Dallas Stars forward Mikko Rantanen continued his historic hot streak with a natural hat trick in one period. He became the first player ever with 2 3-goal periods in the same playoff run, doing it in back-to-back games. He also became just the 3rd player ever to score back-to-back hat tricks in the playoffs and the first since 1985. Jake Ottinger stopped 30 shots for the Stars as they beat the Winnipeg Jets 3-2. Game 2 of their best-of-7 series is Friday night in Winnipeg. The New York Knicks have shocked the Boston Celtics once again, winning Game 2 in dramatic fashion to take a 2-0 lead in the series. The Knicks sealed the deal with yet another last-second defensive play.
Tatum maneuvering. Oh, the ball knocked away! Another great defensive play for the Knicks! They've got it! They've won it!
Kevin Harlan on the call there as the Knicks became the first team in NBA playoff history with back-to-back 20-point comeback wins. Game 3 will take place on Saturday. Sticking with basketball, Canadian Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 34 points leading the way as the Oklahoma City Thunder rolled past the Denver Nuggets 149-106 in Game 2 of their Western Conference semifinal series. Oklahoma City set an NBA playoff record for first-half points with 87 on its way to evening the series at a 1-1 split. The Thunder also tied the record for most points in any half of a playoff game. Nikola Jokic, who had 42 points and 22 rebounds in Game 1, had just 17 points and 8 rebounds on Wednesday before fouling out. Game 3 takes place tomorrow. Sue Bird is giving yet another assist to USA Basketball, becoming the managing director of the women's national team. The 5-time Olympic champion was named to the newly created position Thursday, and it marks a major change in the way the organization creates its roster and coaching staff. Before the change, a committee made those decisions, but now, in a move similar to what the USA men's team does, Bird will be the one responsible for putting things together. Grant Hill has the same role on the men's side. Head coach Joel Quenneville has been hired by the Anaheim Ducks per league sources. Quenneville, a 3-time champion, has been out of the NHL since 2021 when the league determined Quenneville had an inadequate response to allegations of sexual assault within the Chicago Blackhawks organization when he was head coach of the team. The Ducks conducted an extensive research review over the past 2 weeks and will address their findings when the hire is officially announced. Quenneville ranks 2nd all-time in regular season wins and will replace Greg Cronin as head coach of the struggling Anaheim Ducks. Thank you for tuning in to the 1040 Sports Update. I've been Elijah Ford. You're listening to BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikki-King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika Sikki-King.